start tonight's show, we gotta give a shout out to our sponsor, Caldera Lab. Gentlemen, we all know first impressions matter, and if you're not taking care of your skin, that's gonna be the first thing someone notices and instantly either thinks you're way older than you are, or you just don't care about your appearance. Show them you do, and make a great first impression with Caldera Lab. People, I've been using it myself. Yours truly, Stephen M. Smith of TDA, and let me just tell you, the base layer, the good, everything that they've been used, all natural materials have really helped my skin, cleared my skin up, has me looking younger, has me looking even more presentable than what I already am. So, you're going to brush your teeth today. Incorporate skincare steps before it guarantees to not mess up your routine, leaving your breath fresh and your face refreshed. Caldera Lab creates high-performance men's skincare products, and the regimen leads off their product lineup, a twice-a-day routine to transform your skin. We have an exclusive offer. This is their best offer available anywhere. Use the code TDA at CalderaLab.com and get 20% off right now. Get 20% off with our code TDA at CalderaLab.com and make unforgettable first impressions that lead to the charming words, "You look younger." You get 20% off today at Caldera Lab using the code TDA, the show sponsored by Caldera Lab. What's going on, people? What's up? What's up, ladies and gentlemen? How we feeling? Yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine, in my own words, on a Monday, hottest show in the streets, giving you your Bama football news. The last time I did this from home, you as the fan base really enjoyed the atmosphere, so we thought, why not do it again from the home location? But we'll be back in studios in Pelham, the Birmingham area, on Wednesday. We did it home here from the home location. As always, you jump into the chat, you hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel, on the show. Show us you like us, show us that you're feeling us. If you are addicted to Alabama football, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button also. Give us a thumbs up there. Like the show. Run those likes up. We greatly appreciate that. Get crazy in the chat line. We're reading comments tonight. Not taking phone calls, but we're reading comments tonight. Get in the chat line. We already got 53 comments jumping like crazy already. Also, that daily super chat go $100. Daily super chat go $100 right there. We appreciate the love coming from all of you. But we got a lot to get to here on the show. A lot of things happened. Alabama over the weekend survived South Florida at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. Survived the lightning delay. Survived the Bulls defense. Survived Tyler Buckner not having a great day out there at all. Jalen Milroe doesn't play. Ty Simpson, despite pressure all in his grill, he was sacked like 5 times, found a way to lead 280-plus yard scoring drives that resulted in touchdowns. Alabama, a 17-3 win. Roydell Williams, how about the senior running back from Hueytown outside the Birmingham area? 17 carries, a game-high 129 yards rushing, and a touchdown. But I'm getting into it right now. Topic number one here of the conversation. Definitely hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in with the comments. So let's do this. Number one topic of conversation, the game of musical chairs, people. It's over for the quarterback position. Nick Saban today, Jalen Milroe named the redshirt sophomore from Katy, Texas as the quarterback, as QB1. Moving forward, starting off with the Ole Miss game this weekend, the musical chairs of, well, maybe it's Milroe. No, wait, maybe it's Buckner. No, wait, maybe it's Tyson. It's over. Nick Saban, Jalen Milroe showed me what I needed to see from him. Cheering on his teammates, being a leader out there on the sideline, even though he didn't get to play against South Florida. Milroe, when he's been out there, gives us the best chance to win football games. He's played better than the other guys. He's played like the other guys and has earned the right to be the starting quarterback. That comes from Coach Saban. And we all kind of had an idea that he would say that just due to Tyler Buchner against the USF. That was rough. That was rough to look at there. And Buchner, 5 of 14 passing for 34 yards, could not get into a rhythm, was not sacked at all, overthrew guys, underthrew guys, skipped balls in the dirt. It was rough. Alabama's offense looked lifeless for much of the entire game. The score was 3-3 at the half. Bama looked lifeless for much of the entire game. It almost looked like, here we go again, Bama's going to give this one away. And ended up somehow, some way, second half, getting the win. But Jalen Milroe pumping up the teammates, Milroe cheering on the guys, showing the leadership, and then the way that he has played when he's been out there earns that right to be the starter. And this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. This entire team needs to rally around this man. The offensive line needs to block for Jalen Milroe. Pass block, hold their end of the bargain. The whole summer, what did we hear from this offensive line? We're going to be mean. We're going to be nasty. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to be physical. We're going to make teams quit. And we have not seen the correspondent actions from that statement. We got to see that now. Tyler Booker, J.C. Latham, Seth McLaughlin. We've got Eric Wolford as the O-line coach. We've got to see that now from this offensive line. So they've got a block from Milroe. Running backs in terms of picking up blitz protection, whether it's Jace McClellan, whether it's Roydell Williams, whether it's Jam Miller, whether it's Justice Haynes, which by the way, why have we not seen Justice Haynes much? I mean, I know he had the little quad issue in fall camp, but Saban did mention healthy now, did mention the type of player he is. Not quite sure why we haven't seen more of Justice Haynes so far early in the season, but the conversation right now is Jalen Milroe. And, the offensive line's got to do their job. Running backs got to help out in blitz protection. Wide receivers have actually done well helping Milroe. Jermaine Burton has stepped up. I got to give it to him. I know we have all, and I myself included, have had our doubts about Jermaine Burton, but the young man has stepped up. He has. He's made plays. He's caught the football. He's creating separation with his routes. He's getting open. Jermaine Burton has done a good job. Isaiah Bond has stepped up. Kobe Prentice has stepped up. We're starting to see Amari Niblack get involved. I would like to see the offense involve C.J. Dupree more. He did come in from Maryland via the transfer portal, was not utilized where the Terrapins are concerned. Coach Saban mentioned Dupree back in the offseason in the spring as sort of this do-it-all tight end. So I would like to see him get more involved in the flow of the offense. But the receivers, for the most part, they've stepped up. So we look at a continuation of that where Jalen Milroe is concerned with him being the quarterback, but also the offensive line stepping up, the running back stepping up in pass protection, and Tommy Rees stepping up in terms of the play calling. He did a lot of this roll out, bootleg, play action on the run the quarterback away from pressure. He did all of these things at Notre Dame. He needs to implement that at Alabama. Roll Jalen Milroe away from the pressure. Get him out the pocket. Get him on the edge. Get him on the perimeter where he's dangerous. Work in these RPOs. Work in these zone reads. Work in these slants. Work in these passes to get your quarterback comfortable. I mean, we saw against MTSU, Milroe can't throw a deep ball. We saw this. We saw when he was scrambling for his life against Texas, and he has to make something happen. Yes, people will look at the 2 interceptions, but he also threw 2 touchdown passes as well when he had to be kind of scrambling there for his life. So, Tommy Rees, you got to formulate a game plan to have Milroe comfortable. You got to formulate a game plan that works to his skill set, that works to his athleticism and what he does well, and have him comfortable in doing that. So it's not just the wide receivers, the offensive line, the running backs. Tommy Rees, as the OC, he's got to step up in terms of identifying with Milroe, understanding what he likes to do, and calling plays for him that fit best to his skill set as a quarterback, his skill set as a playmaker. But Coach Saban, I was happy to see him do this. He got in front of the media today. He got in front of the crowd today on a Monday and addressed it head on. Jalen Milroe is our guy. He's the quarterback moving forward, starting with the Ole Miss game. He's done everything we've asked him to do in terms of leadership when the teammates are concerned. When we've put him out there, he's played the best of the quarterbacks we have here on the roster. So it's been official. Jalen Milroe, QB1 for your Alabama Crimson Tide moving forward. But that's going to end it here for the first topic of conversation. We're going to actually now go to your thoughts here in the YouTube chat line. Let's get your comments going right now. We got a lot of them going right now. You guys are already jumping here in the comment section. And we start this off of Jarvis S., who writes in, Tommy Rees has to do better with the offensive game plan. Jarvis, absolutely, he has to. You gotta help your quarterback. You gotta call plays that fit what your quarterback does well. You gotta call plays that do that. Tommy Rees has to step up. Mike Coleman, appreciate Mike writing in. Number 4, Milroe QB1, Ty Simpson QB2, Dylan Lonergan QB3, and then Jillian saying, hey, Mike, I agree with that. Milroe QB1, Ty Simpson should be QB2. Here's why. So I'm going to say this. Ty Simpson, despite the fact that he got sacked 5 times in the game, Ty Simpson did show he can move the football. 280-plus yard touchdown drives, including one where he scores a rushing touchdown. So Ty Simpson is one of those guys, when the lights come on, he can play. He may not be the practice player, but when the lights come on, Ty Simpson can play. Absolutely. Appreciate that thought right there. My man, Big Bill from New York, William Morris writes in, the move to bench Milroe worked in 2 ways. Number 1, we know who the QB1 is. Number 2, we know who QB2 is, that being Simpson. It did. Bill, you're right. If we could take this from a positive standpoint, at least we know Buckner's not in. If anything positive came from what happened over the weekend, at least we now know for ourselves Tyler Buckner is not it. Milroe is 1, Simpson is 2. Absolutely. Dexter Wright writes in, our offense is back exciting. Milroe just don't turn the ball over, and we dominate. Dexter, I agree. Milroe protect the football. Offense run the football. Tommy Rees call things to Milroe's skill set, and this team will be just fine. Rees call things to Milroe's skill set. Offense is able to run the football. You create that type of balance. Don't turn the ball over. Absolutely, Dexter. I agree with you. Let's see here. Continuing with thoughts right here. Roll Tide, everybody coming in. Roll Tide, everybody. We got Bobby Sprinkle, Stephen M. Smith. I just want Alabama to get back to where they were back in the day. I mean, Bobby, I agree with you. We all want Alabama to return to being that physical, feared, dominant, respected team across the landscape of college football. That's what we all want. That's what we all desire. And Coach Saban wants that. And the players want that. And the coaching staff wants that. And it starts here, this Ole Miss game, being able to take on Lane Kiffin and shut that man down. Because we all know he's 0 for 3 against Saban since becoming Ole Miss's head coach in 2020. There's nothing Lane Kiffin would want more than a victory over the Crimson Tide. So Alabama's got to be able to shut that down. Bama's got to be able to shut that down this weekend. Appreciate all the thoughts here coming into the show. We got here from Sully462. Sully writes in, I only watched the first 2 quarters because I had somewhere I had to be at, and it looked like the offense wasn't even trying. Alabama suddenly looked lifeless after those first 2 quarters. Literally, they looked lifeless out there on the field. I mean, I was concerned. Yeah, that's how bad it was. I was concerned. I wasn't even at the game. I'm at home. And I was concerned just watching that. But as Coach Saban mentioned in today's presser, in the second half, things started to get going, and the offensive line didn't really start to get going until late that fourth quarter. But things started to get going. You did get a win here against South Florida. Appreciate Sully writing that in. Here we go. We got Plow Jogger 1776. Plow's writing in. Use tight ends with Milroe, please. You got all of these tight ends. You need to use them. We saw what Reese did with Michael Mayer and those guys in Notre Dame. You got Amari Niblack. You got C.J. Dupree. You got Miles Kipsum. You got Robbie Ooch. You got Danny Lewis Jr. You got tight ends. Use them. You got tight ends all across the board, all across the landscape, Tommy Reese. Use these weapons. Give them the football. Plow, I absolutely agree with you on that one right there. Got to be able to get these guys to football. Eric Owens writes in, Buckner needs to hit the portal again and go to a D2 school. I don't know what Buckner's going to do. Eric, I have no idea, but he was not it. Tyler Buckner was not it. And no offense to the kid, good young man, comes from a great family, but on the field against South Florida, he was not it. 5 of 14 passing for 34 yards. That's not cutting the mustard. That's not going to get that done there. Nicholas Johnson writes in, literally was the worst win of a Nick Saban era. It's up there. It's up there. It's up there, Nicholas. It's up there. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see here. We got Dexter writes, it's time for Steele to teach Pete how to drive a Ferrari. This week is going to be right here, Dexter. You got Kevin Steele versus Pete Golden. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. This is going to be the week right here. Here we go. Here we go. So that's going to be the big thing right here this week. But we're going to continue. We're going to continue to get to a lot more of your comments here in the comment section. Keep going. Keep bringing those in here. Keep bringing those in here to us on the show. But we're going to actually now switch into we'll hold on here as you guys we're going to continue with your comments as you guys are continuing to keep bringing those in. But I'm going to now switch to the second topic here of the conversation. And Alabama had its players only meeting after the South Florida game on Sunday. So what does that mean? When they have the players only meeting, this is called a come to Jesus meeting, where guys get stuff off their chest. We start to see who are the leaders on the team, who are the guys kind of sort of policing the team, if you will, who are the guys that everybody respects on the team. This is where we start to see things like that take shape. This is where we start to see, things like that happen. And according to Tyler Booker, Alabama sophomore offensive lineman, the team had their players meeting, and he said, hey, stuff was said. I could only imagine there were guys cussing each other out. There were guys pushing and shoving each other. There were guys getting in the guys' faces. There were guys snatching guys by their face. There were guys grabbing guys by their shirt. I mean, I can only imagine what happened there in that players only meeting. And I can only imagine there were a couple of times where the word get out was used if you're not willing to buy into what we're trying to do, which is win a championship and play together. I can imagine maybe more than multiple times the phrase, if you're not riding with us, if you are not riding with this team, if you're not rocking with what we rocking with, then there's the door. Take it. There's the door. We ain't trying to have no type of distractions. We already got one loss from the season. We already got half of y'all acting like y'all don't even want to be here. So if you don't want to be here, then there's the door. If you don't want to be here, then there's the exit. And you can two-step your way right to that exit, and we will not miss you. So I'm pretty sure that statement was probably used quite the amount of times. But J.C. Latham spoke today and said, what was said in the team meeting room will stay in the team meeting room. So when you have somebody to say that, you know some stuff went down. And we would love to be a fly on the wall to have heard, okay, what was said, why did they say that, how did they say that, what tone of voice was used, all of those things. But the main thing is stuff got addressed. That's the main thing. That should be the main takeaway. Stuff got addressed. No coaches were in there. No analysts were in there. No support staff people were in there. No strength coaches were in there. It was just mano a mano, players with players. And it was time for that. It was time for that. When you look at the best teams that have come through this Alabama football program and the championships that have been won despite having one loss in the season, you look at the 2011 season, the 2012 season, 2015, 2017, all four of those national championships for Alabama in the Nick Saban era came with one loss at some point in the season. So I can imagine at the point of those losses, there was a come to Jesus meeting where everybody laid it all out on the table. The people that decided, hey, I'm all in. I'm done lollygagging around. I'm done with shucking and jiving. I'm ready to get down with this get down and win this championship. They all bonded together. They all locked in, fused, joined together, said, hey, we got to make this thing happen. And the people that were like, you know what, this ain't for me, they hit the door. So this was good. This was really good for this Alabama football program, these players to have this players meeting. It was good for these players to have this team meeting because things need to be said, things need to be mentioned, things need to be got out into the open. And this need to happen. This needed to happen early. It did, especially with the gauntlet that Alabama's about to face. After Ole Miss, you got Mississippi State, you got LSU, you got Texas A&M, you got Arkansas, you got Tennessee, you got Auburn, you got tons of games, you got Kentucky, you got tons of games coming down the pipeline here in these next few weeks, starting off with Ole Miss. So, like I said, you have little to no room for error right now. You can't afford a loss. You can't afford a mistake. You can't afford it. So if you know you can't afford a loss, if you know you can't afford a mistake, if you know the sense of urgency that you need to have, then it calls for you to have these types of meetings, to get in the guys' faces, and to clean the stuff up. The main thing I want to see happen from this team meeting is that we start to really see who the leaders of this team really are. The vocal leaders of this team really are. The respected guys, the revered guys on this team. Because if you go back to the national championship teams that had one loss, 2011, I just remember Dante Hightower was just revered. Dante would say something, the whole room would just shut up because they wanted to tick Dante off. Like Courtney Upshaw was that dude. Courtney said something. It was like it was like, Jesus said something in terms of Alabama football, because Courtney Upshaw said something. Everybody just, Courtney talking, shut up. 2012, CJ Mosley said something. It was turn the lights off. Mosley talking. Nobody else would be talking. CJ talking over here. 2015, if Ashawn Robinson, Jaron Reed, Jonathan Allen, Reggie Ragland, Dalvin Thomas, them jokers said something, the whole room was deadly silent. Because those guys, they commanded the room, right? 2017, the same thing. Whether it was Minkah Fitzpatrick, whether it was Isaiah Buggs, whether it was Rashaan Evans, Sean Dion Hamilton, when those guys spoke, when those guys parted their lips, it was be quiet, they speaking, what we trying to do here. So the guys on this team, who are those guys to where they speak and everybody else in the room knows the severity of what's about to happen, the severity of the moment. That's what's about. Who on this team speaks and everybody else recognizes the severity of the moment. But it was huge for this team to have this players only meeting, because you got to right the ship the right way. You got to right the ship the right way, especially with you got these rumors of Coach Saban retiring, and Coach Saban said, "Hey, those rumors are laughable. I'm not going nowhere. I like what I'm doing." You got that going on. You got Alabama dropping to number 13 in the AP poll. They dropped outside the top 10. You got that going on. You have so much here that's been surfacing where external things are concerned. So the guys in the program, I think they need to be linked up. They need to be linked up and locked in. And the phrase "link, let a naysayer know" needs to be a real thing moving forward. Lank shouldn't be something you just have on a keychain now. That needs to be something implemented for real. Lank don't need to be no cute saying that you're going to put on a shirt to get some NIL. Lank need to be something, hey, like, we letting all of y'all know this now. All y'all were talking all this stuff in the summer about, Bama ain't going to do this, Bama ain't going to do that, Bama ain't got this, Bama ain't, we finna let you know what we got. Lank cannot be no slogan. It's a little cute slogan. Lank needs to be action. That whole statement needs to be action. But it was good to see the team have the players only meeting. We're going to right now go to some more questions here, some more thoughts here from the chat line. You guys, appreciate you guys lighting this up here as we go to the chat line to get your questions. Here we go. We got J.D. Long in here with that $19.99 in the Super Chats. Appreciate J.D. Long. He writes in Roll Tide. Let's finish strong. And let's go betting on Milroe and Saban. J.D. Long writing that in right there. Appreciate that. Don Parker writes in, I want to see Saban break headsets again. I kind of want to see that too, Don. I kind of want to see that. I know we've all made jokes about Saban being mad and Saban getting upset and whatnot, but I kind of miss the Saban that was breaking headsets. I kind of miss the Saban that was chewing coaches out on the sideline. I kind of miss the Saban that was doing that. So absolutely. Van Edwards writes in, Tim Smith is stank too. He gets thrown down more than midget wrestlers. That's the biggest surprise to me, because Tim came in this huge 5-star out of Florida, but he hasn't done anything. I mean, he came in this huge, massive 5-star out of Florida, but we have not seen Tim Smith really do anything out there. And this is why I've been saying it's time to look at these young guys. It's time to look at a James Smith. It's time to look at a Monkel Goodwine. It's time to look at a Damon Payne. It's time to look at more of these young players that have that drive, that have that want to, that have the hunger in them. Because I look at Tim Smith, I just don't see it. I just don't see it whatsoever. Good kid, but I just don't see the hunger there. Let's see here. We got AAA who writes in Trench King question mark. So far all I see is a stench queen. I guess AAA referring to the offensive line, and they have not done their job so far this season, and they know they haven't. Tyler Booker has not. J.C. Latham has not. Seth McLaughlin has not. No one's done their job. No one's done their job. And they got to start doing that now. They had all the talk this summer. They had all the talk this offseason. It's time to do work. It is time to do work here on this Alabama offensive line. I appreciate all of you guys getting your comments in here. We're going to try to get to as many as we can, especially if my computer will allow, and it is allowing me to do this. But here we go. Here we go. We write in thumbs up, thumbs aloft. Thumbs aloft writes in, I hear you said you can imagine, but do you know it was that kind of attitude in the team meeting for sure? Or also, are you sure stuff got addressed there? So, am I sure that stuff got addressed? If this team wants to win a national championship, stuff better get addressed. If this team is about winning a national title, stuff better get addressed. I mean, of course, we can't be in those rooms because those are for players only. And I understand that, the players aren't going to go into any details about what happened. But from what I was told from people that know, about the team and around the team, I was told that a lot of stuff did get addressed there in that team meeting. But the only way we know for sure is the next time they're on the field, right? And the next time they're on the field is against Ole Miss. How do they play against the Rebels? How do they play against Lane Kiffin? How do they play against Pete Golding? How do they play against this team? That will show how much really got addressed there in that team meeting is how they play against Ole Miss. But appreciate thumbs a lot there with that statement. Mike Coleman writes in, if we have an alpha dog, he needs to come on with it and start holding each other accountable on the field and off. Let's dominate it. Let's dominate if it's just y'all. If it's just y'all against all, then dominate. It's time for whoever that guy is, and it doesn't need to be necessarily be one guy. And yes, it's good to have that one guy that stands out from among the rest, but it needs to be, it needs to be multiple guys that are walking that same line. It needs to be multiple guys that are walking that same line of enough is enough, man. Like enough's enough. Like we sat there, as a team, we didn't look all that great against MTSU. Enough is enough. We didn't look great at all against Texas. We lost against Texas. They beat us. They took it from us. They manhandled us at home in Bryant-Denny. You don't supposed to lose in Bryant-Denny, especially not by no 10 points. They took it from us at home. Ain't nobody supposed to be okay with that. And then you go on the road to South Florida and you barely win that game against South Florida, a team that you have way more talent than across the board. So, yes, it's good to have that one guy, alpha personality that sticks out from among the rest. But for me, I would like to see multiple guys with that same mindset finally go, look, this is enough. Tired of this. This is enough. This ain't Alabama football. We know it's not Alabama football. We know what Alabama football is. Let's fix this. Let's fix this, and let's fix this now. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see if we get more stuff here. Let's get more stuff here. Ephraim Davis writes in, people are panicking, Stephen. I know there's a panic. I know, Ephraim, there's a panic. There's a panic. There's a panic all across the board, man. People are looking at this season as already this season's a loss. Already, let's go get let's go get tickets to the Birmingham Bowl. Like literally, you got fans going, let's get tickets for the Birmingham Bowl. Let's get tickets for the Tangerine Bowl. Let's get tickets for the Idaho Potato Bowl. Because Bama ain't playing for no national for the loss to Texas. And how this team looks here, how this team looked against South Florida before, finally showing some life here in the fourth quarter. But I think that this is exactly what Alabama needs right here. This is exactly what they need. They need right now, it's okay. If you ain't going to do something about this, I will. That's what Bama needs right now. If you ain't going to do something about this, I will. That's what needs to happen right now. Let's say here, Brian Watson writes in, and so help me God, if one more fine bomb of the world since the game has passed Saban by, I will lose it. Now, and that's what a lot of people are talking about. Game has passed Coach Saban by. You know, it's Dion, it's Coach Prime Sanders, the next one that could come to Alabama. Saban to go ahead and retire. He can't, get accustomed to the NIL way and the NIL culture and this and this. He's too old school. The game's past. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this right here. Saban has said this so many times. When it gets to where he cannot affect the players the way he needs to, then he steps away from the game. I don't think it's Coach Saban. I think it's just a lack of execution on behalf of the players, mostly. Now, some things are on Coach Saban. For example, I probably wouldn't have benched Milroe as quickly as what took place, but like I mentioned, the benching of Milroe, at least it did show from a positive standpoint that Tyler Buckner is certainly not it. At least it did show from a positive standpoint that, hey, Ty Simpson needs to be ahead of Tyler Buckner. And then number one, first and foremost, Jalen Milroe is the best quarterback here on that roster. Let's see here, guys. Continuing with comments here. Appreciate you guys writing this stuff in here. We go to Mark Anders writes in, NIL money is a problem. Well, yes, Mark, NIL does cause an issue, but it's not going anywhere, Mark. It's not going nowhere. NIL is here to stay. There's nothing we can do about it. We can ask for more parameters to be put on it. We can ask for more guidelines about it. We can ask for deeper understanding. But as far as NIL going away, no. NIL is not going away. We're just going to have to deal with this here. Let's see here. Hood Drake writes in, Isaiah Bond, quick slants. Jermaine Burton, play action, deep post. Yeah. Isaiah Bond on more quick slants. Jermaine Burton on more deep posts. The receivers are stepping up. The receivers are stepping up. They are making plays. Absolutely. They are making plays. Dexter Wright writes in, Payne plays good. Want to see more of Damon Payne. I do. Want to see him more out there on the field. I absolutely do. JD Long writes in, shout out to Roydell Williams of Hueytown, Alabama. Shout out to Roydell. Roydell had a big game. Roydell, he was waiting for that moment his whole career. And he's been patient, been playing on special teams, has done everything the coaching staff has asked of him to do. And it was special for him to go out there, and finally show, why he was a four-star recruit when he came in the 2020 class. 17 carries, 129 yards, a touchdown, averaged over 7 yards per carry. Roydell did work. In the words of Mark Ingram, he was toting that tater right. And that's coming from the former Heisman Trophy winner Mark Ingram, paying that respect there to Roydell. Toting that rock properly, running the football. Proud of Roydell and what he did in that game. Eric Owens writes back in, Freddie Roach is a fantastic recruiter, but he hasn't developed one D lineman. No first rounder under his belt. Eric, this is absolutely correct. Freddie Roach, good recruiter, but he has not developed a defensive lineman. Alabama has not had a first-round defensive lineman since Quinnen Williams. And it's been a minute since Big Q. So for Freddie Roach here, you got to start developing some D linemen. I mean, you got to start developing some D linemen and taking them from ground zero and making them All Americans, making them first team All SEC, making them award winners, making them feared, respected, and then putting those guys in the National Football League. Absolutely. Here we go. Russell McDaniel writes in, Dalcourt needs to go. I mean, Russell, you're one of very few you're one of many, that are saying this right now. And to me, I feel like it's time to go Terrence Ferguson. I think it's time to go T-Ferg. I think T-Ferg's the guy. I think it's time to go with him. Smoke Man with that $10 donation. Smoke Man. Let's go appreciate all the smoke. He writes in, what's the real deal with Milroe? I believe Reese promised Buckner this, and he was horrible. And Saban listened to Reese. Proctor is overrated. Offensive line looks like 340 pounds of chewed up bubble gum. O-line need to drop some weight. And that brings us right here to William, my man, Big Bill's point, Bill writes in, Stephen, are offensive linemen too big? Seriously, I think Proctor is too young to weigh 360. He should focus on his agility. I mean, these guys need to cut some weight. Proctor's 374. He needs to drop down. Nathan is 360. He needs to drop some. These guys need to cut some weight as tackles. I mean, the offensive tackles, to be an offensive tackle, I mean, even down, Big Cam Robinson went number, 315? Your Big Cam went number 315, 320. So these guys need to cut some weight. They need to get down to that 310, 315, 320, where you can establish your feet, establish your anchor, then reestablish, be able to shuffle and move with these quick defensive linemen. Absolutely. Justin Summerlin writes in, I heard some great things from after this past weekend. I believe will be the old Bama this weekend. I'm looking forward to seeing that, Justin. We had the team meeting, come to Jesus meeting. Milroe's officially now QB1. We've been hearing some stuff here from Coach Saban. That's what I want. That's what I want to do here. That's what I want to have happen here. Let's see. We got here. Jarvis S. writes in, Caden Proctor has to grow up and lay off the Twinkies. Look, Jarvis, look, man. He's a young guy, a young player. He will have growing pains. Now, I do agree. Got to cut some weight. Got to get with Miss Amy Bragg, head nutritionist. Got to get with the strength staff. Got to cut some weight down. Absolutely true. But he's young. Got some growing pains there that he's got to work through as an offensive lineman. Let's see here. John Griffith writes in, Tim Young makes the point of the night. Football is won from front to back. RG3 said the same thing. O-line and D-lines play like it was an episode of Dance with the Stars. Dominate, guys. It starts in the trenches. It does. The teams that won championships under Alabama had dominant offensive and defensive lines. You can point back to any championship of the Nick Saban era in Tuscaloosa where the Crimson Tide is concerned, and you will see domination from the offensive and defensive line. And if Alabama is trying to win a championship this year, it has to get back to doing that. Got to get back there to doing that. Got to do that. We got here Chris McPherson. Do you really think Saban just didn't play Milroe, or was he in the doghouse for something? I don't think Milroe was in the doghouse for anything because he's not a troublesome kid. He's never been that way. He's never presented that aura. Now, this is just me, Chris. Maybe Saban did this to wake Milroe up and try to light a fire under him. Remember, he did the same thing with Jacob Coker in 2015. He benched Coker before the Ole Miss game. And Coker, it wasn't that Coker was in the doghouse. Coker, good kid, good dude. It was just Saban wanted to light a fire in Coker and see, does Coker really want this thing? And we saw when Coker went out there against Ole Miss, he showed, hey, I really want this thing. So in my opinion, that's how I perceive Saban doing this, is lighting the fire under Jalen Milroe to see, does he really, really want this thing here at the quarterback position? Gotta show some love to my man Bill. Bill from New York with a $5 donation. Appreciate that there from Bill. We thank him for that. And we also want to thank Darius Johnson. Darius Johnson, that $4.99 in the super chats there. He writes in, Nick Saban needs to call and apologize to Scott Cochran. You know what? Scott Cochran brought that energy, man. He brought that energy. He brought that get your mind right. Definitely missed that. Definitely needed that right there. Let's see here. We got Nona Davis writing in. Hello, everyone. Bama has to execute across the board. We can still do this. However, we need that dog mentality. Nona hit the nail on the head. Execution across the board is vital. Bama needs pure execution across the board. Bama needs to execute that dog mentality across the board. She's dead on it. Nona Davis is dead. I couldn't have said it better myself. Nona Davis, you are right. You are dead on it with your comment right there. I mean, absolutely. Absolutely. Shane D writes in, like you said before, Stephen, we need to recruit the ghettos and get some mean dudes in the trenches. I've said this, Shane. We got to go back to getting them kids when something got to give, man. We got to go back to getting the kids that something got to give, man. Something got to give, man. We got to go back to getting them kids. And we have some of them on this team. We just got to play them. We got to play the James Smiths. We got to play the Curtis Perrys. We got to play the Damon Paynes. We got to play the Monkel Goodwins. We got to play these kids. If you're recruiting these kids, you got to play these kids. Hood Drake is writing in about Kobe Prentice needs some quick slants as well. I like Prentice. He's starting to step up. Now, of course, Prentice mentioned he's trying to model his game, pattern his game after one Devontae Smith. I like that. Feeling that. Can he do that? Hey, we got to see this, but I like what I'm seeing so far from Kobe Prentice here. Let's see here. Mike Coleman writes in about Malachi Moore could be that big dog to light people up. Malachi Moore's having a great year. Malachi won it. Malachi won it. He's having a great year. And I am so proud of that young man. I mean, battled through some injuries, battled through some adversity, but he is having an outstanding year. We go back to MJ Thompson, who writes in, when will the coordinators come down out of the box, the sideline? The entire program needs to be locked in and committed. MJ, that needs to happen this week. Get Tommy Reese and Kevin Steele out that booth, put them on the field. Put them on the field. You had Kiffin on the field, Sark on the field, Pete Golden on the field, Pruitt on the field, Kirby Smart on the field. If all of them can take the Nick Saban, butt chewings, Kevin Steele, Tommy Reese, get y'all tails down here and take them too. I mean, they need to go on the field. They need to get on the field to be at eye level with the players, to see what they're seeing. See what they're seeing. Need to get these guys on the field. So, absolutely. Absolutely. Appreciate all of you guys writing in your thoughts here on the show, but that's going to actually take us in here to our final topic of conversation for the evening. And when we look at this final topic here, Nick Saban today cleared the rumors on who's calling the defense for Alabama. There was a report swirling around social media that apparently Lane Kiffin of Ole Miss was thinking that Travaris Robinson is going to be the defensive coordinator for, Alabama again for the Ole Miss game, because they saw different stuff that the Tide did against South Florida, but Saban reiterates that, hey, Kevin Steele's the D coordinator. It's Kevin Steele's defense. Kevin Steele's the D coordinator. Kevin Steele's the guy running the defense, calling the defense, orchestrating the defense. Now, everybody else on the defensive staff, they help out. Saban pitches in, Charlie Strong pitches in, Robert Bonga, Coleman Hutzler, guys that may have ideas, they'll pitch in, they'll give a thought, they'll give a suggestion, they'll help put together the game plan and cut up the game plan. And you may see something one way, I may see it like this, but it's all bring it together for a common unity. But the guy that's calling the signals, the guy that's radioing the call in or getting the call into the players, that's Kevin Steele, right? That's his role. That's his job. That's what he's doing. So he's calling the defense. He's orchestrating the defense. Travaris Robinson's not calling the defense. Yes, people said Coach T-Rob had this play call sheet in his hand. Yes, he had a play call sheet in his hand, but that was probably for different schematic reasons. He's probably right or walking down next to Kevin Steele going, hey, Coach Steele, I know you may want to call this, but also consider this right here. Hey, Coach Steele, I know you may want to go this route, but hey, I see where the offense may be tight here or leaning here or something that we can exploit here. So maybe look at this. Kevin Steele's the coordinator. He's the guy calling his defense, but everybody on the defensive coaching staff, they have a role. And they have a role in pitching in, filling gaps here, making decisions about what could we do in various situations to make sure we got the right call, we're in the right set, we got the right pressure package, we got the right look, all of those things, because all of those things are vitally important there. So Coach Saban today clarifying that, look, I know the reports that came out that, people are talking about we got somebody else calling our defense. No, Kevin Steele is calling our defense. Kevin Steele is our DC. Kevin Steele is our play caller. We just have guys on the staff that have defensive experience. We have guys on the staff that know what other teams may like to do. So they're helping us out in giving us, different things that we can do to make sure that the right call is being made, the right play is being presented, that everything is done fully the right way there. So that's the thought right there. And happy that Coach Saban was able to clear that up here in today's press conference. But we're going to get to a few more comments right here before we round out the show. Appreciate you guys here. Let's go with JD Long writing back in. Steven, can we bring back Jim McElwain as the OC? Well, JD, it's a good question. I know recently the last place McElwain was at Florida. I don't know where McElwain is at this point, but I don't think he would be available though, JD. It'd be cool though, but I don't think he's available though, JD. Let's see here. Hood Drake writes in, that's why I said to me, Lawson is the best player in the nation. Deontay Lawson's coming on though. I mean, Deontay Lawson, yes, he got pancaked in that Texas game, but Deontay Lawson is coming on though. Really like what he's been able to do here, how he played there against South Florida. I like D-Law's game, so he is coming on here. Let's try to get to a few more of your comments before we round this off. Jonathan McMillan writes in, honestly, if Milroe doesn't ball out this season, I don't see him being the guy next year. Ty, Dylan Larnigan, and Eli having another year in the system. Also, Julian saying coming in. Well, this is a big year for Milroe. This is a big season for Milroe. This is a big game for Milroe this weekend against Ole Miss to not only pull himself off the mat, play strong, win the game, but also for Milroe to prove to himself that he can do this. This is a game where Milroe's going to prove to himself, I can be a complete quarterback. I can be a complete playmaker. I can be a complete difference maker with my legs and my arm. Like this team, this coaching staff, these guys can count on me to do what I got to do out here. So this is a huge game here for Jalen Milroe. If he can go out here and do that, which I believe he can do that, it's going to be fun right here. We're going to look at more. We're going to look at more thoughts here. Let's go with Darius Johnson says, go tell Reuben Foster to come back and linebacker. Well, to come back and well, are you saying Darius to come back and coach linebackers? I would not mind. I would not mind Reuben Foster coming back to Alabama to coach linebackers. I would not mind. That's good, but I would not mind that. Let's see. Dexter Wright writes in, our future is bright, family. No offensive turnover, and we were good. Protect the football. Correct. Protect the football. Run this offense. Tommy Reese, get things for Jalen Milroe intact, and this team's going to be fine. But guys, appreciate all of you on tonight's show. You making this your show, your spot to talk all things Crimson Tide football. It was awesome to get a chance to come to you from home today. Like I said, the last time that we were able to do this, it was fun. It was exciting. You guys really enjoyed it. And I relish being able to come to you guys from home here and to give you my perspective, not, in studio. Appreciate Smoke Man again with that $10 donation. Appreciate Smoke Man helping us out on the show. Hood Drake's got a prediction. He's got Alabama 35. He's got Alabama 35. And let's see here. He's got Alabama 35. Ole Miss 17 there. Noah Owens has Alabama 34, Ole Miss 23. Let's see here. Smokeman writes in, Greg Mack said Milroe was in the doghouse, and that ticked me off. We need the truth. And if not the truth, G-Mac needs to apologize, Stephen. You are supposed to be in the know. We need to know here. I don't think Milroe was in the doghouse. I don't think he was. Like I say to me, when I hear the word doghouse, I think you in some issues, you in some trouble, you got some problems going on. That's not Jalen Milroe. I think the thing with Milroe was Saban is trying to light a fire under him in terms of, hey, do you really want this thing as being the starting quarterback? I think that's just my thoughts. I don't think at all that Milroe in the doghouse. Absolutely not. So that's just how I'm feeling there on that particular subject. But guys, we appreciate all of you being a part of the show, making this your spot, making this your place for Bama football. I'll be back in studios in the Birmingham area on Wednesday, giving you more Bama football as we prepare for the Ole Miss game, which will be Saturday at 2:30 p.m. Central Time, Bryant-Denny Stadium. CBS will have the call there on the matchup. Y'all have a great evening. Take care of yourselves. Husbands love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children, continue doing the right thing, fun thing, smart thing, good thing, legitimate thing to not be bored there. You get yourself those 3 people, hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day also. You protect yourself. You protect the loved ones around you guys. Y'all take care. I'll be back on Wednesday getting all of your calls. Y'all take it easy.